again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. How are all of you doing today? Today I'm really excited because I'm not showing you one, but two projects wrapped up into one. It is a hat cowl convertible piece, so you get two items for the effort and the price of one. It's fabulous, and I think you guys are really going to love this. Now, I was sleuthing away on the internet, and I'm like looking for, things that can change, things that are convertible, things that, are interesting. And I came across the idea on an internet website, like a boutique. It was very hipster looking. And I saw this pretty cool hat slash cowl. And it was made in sort of like a jersey material. It was very light, it was very flexible, and they turned a hat into a cowl. And I'm like, oh, I want to try to make this myself, and save myself $30-40 on it. So after some prototyping and fiddling and finagling, this is the result. Yes. So right now, yes, it is a hat, but then take it off and do a little presto changeo. Yes, it is going to be a cowl in just a few moments. Instant cowl. Ta-da! These are super duper easy, super duper fast, and I love how this all works up. And the versatility is fabulous. So if your neck is cold, got you covered. If your hat is cold, got you covered. If they're both cold, well, make two of them. Yeah. So it's fabulous. So this is sort of a tutorial, more of a formula of how to make your piece, because depending upon the weight of the yarn that you use, the hook size that you use, the size of your head, your tension, your gauge, there are factors. But, I can give you a rough ballpark. So I'm not going to leave you high and dry, not to worry. Now, this particular piece, it's lovely. Now, even though the fabric itself is pretty meshy, because there's so much of it, bunched up around your neck, it is toasty woasty. And when it is as a hat, there are two layers that are on your head. So it is nice, it is thick, it is warm. Okay, so do not be deceived by appearances. Now, so this particular piece, this was one of these skeins. I didn't even use the whole skein, actually. I had about this much left over from this skein. And so this I got from Hobby Lobby. It is Yarn Bee Authentic hand-dyed blend. Cloudy Indigo is the colorway. And so this is about 400 yards, and it is 50% superwash merino wool and 50% lyocell. No idea what that is, but hey. And I want to say that the weight of the yarn is like about a 2 weight or so. So soft. Oh, love it. And so with this particular yarn, I used a size I crochet hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and I used 60 stitches for the circumference. Okay, so I got this one, and as far as the length, it is about 18 inches in length. Now, I did another one, which was actually my first one, and this is my first attempt. So we got a nice nuggly wuggly cowl, and going to now make it into a hat. Now, making it into a hat, actually, from its cowl form, basically just hold it as such, and what I'm going to do, grab the bottom corner, so it has a twist in it. Okay, so when it has the twist, you then bring the open edges together. The twist is at the bottom right now. Okay, so you've got 4 layers. You've got 2 layers of one end, you've got 2 layers of the other end. Basically, you grab one layer. So I'm grabbing one layer, and then I'm going to go around the whole thing, sort of turning it inside out. And then I've got 2 layers on one side, 2 layers on the other side. Give it a shaky shake. Instant hat. It is fabulous. Now, this yarn, this was Lion Brand's Ferris wheel. By the way, this video is not sponsored or anything like that, but this is the yarn that I used. I used just over one of these cakes. I had to go into a second cake. Now, this is 270 yards. Now, they say it's a weight of 4, but honestly, I would say it's more of a weight of 3. That's my personal opinion. And this is acrylic, and the name is Full Moon. Now, because this yarn is a little bit thicker, at a weight of 3, again, that's my interpretation, I used a size J, which is a 6mm sized hook, and I used 50 stitches for the circumference of the piece. And as far as the length goes, it is about 20 inches in length, whereas the other one's about 18. Now, about the ins and outs of what you want to use and the stitch that we're going to use. Now, you want this to be very, very flexible. Otherwise, when you are doing your twist, if it's a very stiff yarn or very thick yarn, then it's going to have trouble with the twist, and you're going to have like this hard knot on the back of your head, which not very comfortable. So that being said, I would strongly, strongly suggest using a yarn that is no thicker or heavier than a weight of 3. So 3 or thinner would be ideal for this particular project. Also, going up, a size or 2 hook size, because you want this to be very flowy, very drapey, and, very, very flexible and pliable, okay? Also, even though this does look very meshy, this is called the wide double crochet stitch. So you're not working in stitches, you're working into the space in between the stitches to give it a very flexible nature. Also, instead of doing an initial chain for the circumference, going to be doing chainless foundation stitches, which does help with the elasticity. Okay, so I know it's a lot of information, but, I'm going to walk you through how you get started. And then after you get that initial starting circumference done, total autopilot. You can finish one of these in an evening, no problem. So if you have like a last minute gift that you have to give, these are perfect. You don't know what to give somebody, these are perfect, and I think that they're fabulous. So enough of my yammering. Let's get started, shall we? Alrighty. Alrighty, so I have here, this is a 6mm size J crochet hook, and I'm going to be using, again, a weight of 3 yarn. So if you were using this weight of 3, roughly speaking, I would say about 50-ish stitches for the circumference. Now, as far as the actual size, I would say you want it to be able to fit over your head, okay, but also to be able to rest comfortably on your ears and not like completely fall over and, onto your shoulders. So there is some wiggle room as far as the exact number. Sorry for being vague, but I'm being honest. So going to start off with our slip knot here, and we're going to be doing some chainless foundation stitches. Now, we're not going to hop right into doing double crochets. Now, we're going to sort of work our way up to that, creating sort of a tapered edge, and that will become more apparent later. So I'm going to start off by chaining 2, like so, and we're going to go into that first chain. So going into that first chain and pull up a loop, and then chain 1, like so, then yarn over and pull through both of the loops. So we did 1 single crochet. Now we're going to do a half double crochet, and we're going to work into that chain that we did. That is going to enable us to keep making more stitches. So whenever you're doing a chainless foundation stitch, you're always starting off with a chain so that you can work into it to make another stitch. So to do the half double, actually, you know what? Let me do what I just did, but go a little bit slower, because I know that a lot of you are not familiar with chainless foundation stitches. So chain 2, going into that first chain, again, going into the chain, pulling up a loop, chain 1, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Then going into that chain that we made, first we have to yarn over because it's going to be a half double crochet. So we're yarning over, then going into that chain that we created, like so, pulling up a loop, then chain 1, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So we did a single and we did a half double. Now we get into the doubles. So yarn over, going into that chain, pull up a loop, chain 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is our first double. And then for the rest of the circumference, it's just doing chainless double crochet stitches until you've reached about 50-ish. Okay, so yarn over, going into that chain stitch that we created, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, going into that chain stitch, pull up a loop, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, going into that chain, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, going into that chain. It's sort of a chain slash the base of the stitches, So chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you just keep going, going, going. Now, as you can see, that the edge here, it's tapered a little bit because we started off with a single and then a half double, and that is going to help create a more seamless connection when we go all the way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep creating more of these double crochet stitches off camera, and when I feel that I have enough, then I'm going to show you how to do the join and continue on around and around and around, and I will see you in a bit. I'll be right back. All right, so I did about 30 of these stitches. Now, as you can see, it has a lot of nice stretch to it, and that is why I opted for the chainless foundation stitches. Now, you could, conceivably do, your typical foundation chain and work into that. However, it might be not as flexible as you would like. Perhaps go up, a hook size or two when doing your initial chain, or adjust your tension. This is, I found, nice, simple, straightforward method, so that's what I opted for. Now, as far as joining, you want to make sure that there is no twist in your work. The twist, you add that later, but right now, no twist in the work, and we're going to do a double crochet. Going to go not in the stitch per se, but we're going to go, initially we're going to go right into there. Okay, not into there, but into there. I'm going to go into there and do a double crochet. Now it is a little bit fiddly at first, I'll be the first to admit, but it gets better. So right into there, then double crochet, not into the V, but just below the V. It's a little bit crowded at the moment, I'll be the first to admit, but go below the V, right next to the bar of that next stitch, with another double. And right now it's fairly obvious where we need to go. Again, not underneath the V, but right next to the post in between the stitches. So into this space right there with another double. And this is how we're going to proceed for the rest of the project. In between the posts with double crochet stitches. And you just keep going around and around and around in a spiral until your piece is long enough. So just going in between the posts of the double crochet stitches. And you can make this really super duper long. I did, like I said, 18 and 20 inches respectively. However, you could go longer and you could end up with definitely much more of a slouchy hat kind of look. Also, an extra feature which I did not mention is that if you have a lot of hair, which obviously I do not, you could use this as a messy bun hat, and you can stick your ponytail through the top back of the hat. It's twisted. It's closed, but it's twisted, but you can fit a ponytail through there, no problem. So I'm just going in between the posts. It's so easy because you're going into sort of stitch spaces, not into actual stitches. So it flies by, except for when you get a slight tangly knot bit there. There we go. And what I want to do is I want to keep going and show you how we're going to keep going when we have come full circle, and then going to show you how you can finish off your piece. Sort of the reverse of how we started. We're going to be tapering again. Very, very simple. And it creates a more seamless appearance as opposed to just ending on a double crochet. It's like there's a stair step there. I'm going to show you what to do as far as that goes. So I just got a couple more stitches to go. So this, I would say, is a really, really, really great project. If you want to work on something, you don't want to have to agonize over a pattern or anything. You just want to go on autopilot. This is perfect. Okay, so we have essentially come full circle. So just got a couple more stitches. Okay, go in between these two last ones here. And we have come full circle. Now, so we have this post here, that post there. We're actually going to go in between these two, like so. And keep on keeping on by doing our wide double crochets. And this, we can then run this yarn through this side and close it up, sew in our ends, and we are good to go. Now I just need a bit more yarn. There we go. So can sort of anchor this into there, which I'm going to show you how to do now, and then just keep going, going, going. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab a needle. One moment. Okie dokie. So as far as this beginning tail of yarn, going to go through the base of this stitch right here, like so, and then go back through where we started, go into where we were going, cinch it up, and there you go. Now, because we started with a bit of a taper, it has a nice, even, flush edge. Really, really nice. So what I'm going to keep doing now is I'm going to keep on keeping on by doing more of my wide double crochet stitches, and going to show you how you can finish up. And then I'm going to give you a more close-up example of how you can turn your hat into, your cowl into a hat. You know, space-wise, it's a lot easier if I could show you small scale. So I will see you shortly. Okay, so in a really short amount of time, I whipped this up. Now, granted, like I said, this is a smaller representation. This is only like 30 stitches, this weight of yarn in this hook. I would say you would probably need about 50 or so. But, you know, I just kept going, 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 and going to show you how you can finish off this edge. And so I just, did my usual doubles, my wide doubles, and got to grab the loop here. And I'm just going to do 2 more stitches here, going from double down to half double. So yarn over, going in between the stitches, just as we have been, pulling up a loop, pull through all 3, then going into the next stitch with a single, and then if you want to go really crazy, you can go into the next stitch with a slip stitch, and that creates a nice seamless edge. Really, really, really nice. Now at this point, going to show you how you can turn your cowl. I mean, basically, the cowl is just to sort of scrunch it all up and plop it over your head, and you are good to go. Nice and snuggly wuggly. However, if you want it to be a hat, this ultimately, it needs to be long enough where you can give it a twist. So going to bring one corner down, that corner up. So we have ourselves a full twist, okay? And then going to bring one side to the other side. So we've got all 4 open edges there. Then just grab the top layer and bring it around so that now you have an inside loop and an outside loop. Tuck your hand in there, and that is the closed top. And you can arrange this, you can fiddle it, and you can finagle it. But the thing is, you need a twist in there, otherwise this is going to be open. And as I said before, yes, you can ultimately stick a ponytail through that, no problem whatsoever. So there you are. That is how you can make a convertible hat cowl piece. And I absolutely love the simplicity. I love the versatility, and it is so fast and so very, very easy. Now, this is just one way of many in which you could make this. Another alternative that I thought, would be just as viable if you use a really large sized hook. We're talking like a P or a Q size, and just do single crochets, so that it is very light and meshy. That is totally a possibility as well. I'm sure that there are other different stitches that you could utilize, but this, I felt, it works. It's simple. It's clean. It does what it needs to do. Yeah. So that being said, listen, guys, I really hope that you liked this. And if you did, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation as always. And in the comments section, I want to hear from you. Let me know what sort of yarn you're going to use, what sort of colors. Very interested in your feedback and hearing all about your constructive, creative journeys. Yeah. And as always, you know what to do, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.